Welcome to Tackle Talk Live, a program full of insight and information related to bass tournaments with a primary focus on Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend. A show dedicated to making you a better bass fisherman with one-on-one interviews with winning anglers. Your host, Kevin Jean, Territory Manager for Sport Co-Marketing, who's no stranger to tournament success. An avid angler who understands how to compete at a high level. Daiwa and Camus Boats Pro Staffer, Steve Graff, a successful angler in his own right, who continues to pursue tournament-winning stringers. So, get ready to take notes from two knowledgeable anglers here on Tackle Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
That's right. It's that time once again for another edition of Tackle Talk Live. I'm Daiwa Pro Staffer Steve Graff, along with Territory Manager for Sport Co-Marketing down there in South Louisiana, Kevin Jean. And Kevin, man, look, we're almost in. We're getting mid-February now, and things are starting to happen, and tournaments are really kicking off. We got a lot going on.
We do, Steve. It's been a little slow. It's been a slower January than normal for us around here, but things are kicking off. We got a busy weekend, a lot of big tournaments, Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn this weekend. So coming off of, a big Toyota tournament on Sam Rayburn last weekend. So a lot of things going on, a lot to talk about, Steve, but who better than to talk about Sam Rayburn than Nick LeBrun, who just won the Toyota Series over there this past weekend with, I think, the biggest bag we have seen come from Sam Rayburn this year, 26 pounds.
Yeah, biggest bag of the tournament was Nick on the final day. You're right. You are correct.
Think out of all tournaments.
You may be right there, too. I don't remember.
I don't remember one. No, I might be wrong, but I don't recall something.
Now, Toledo, that would not be the case.
Oh, no.
But I think you're right for Rayburn. I hadn't seen any bag bigger than that come in. So, and everything's starting to kick off. We finally had a little rain come through. We got an inch here at Natchitoches here on Sibley Lake. Got an inch other day. I checked my rain gauge yesterday morning, and when it came through, it came through quick. Within 15, 20 minutes, it was done. But it rained hard, and we got an inch out of it. So, but we need some serious rain. We need almost a tropical system to come in, especially to get Rayburn back up to where it needs to be. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll have a wet spring.
And it's going to be interesting to get Nick's thoughts on that as well, Steve. When's the last time he has saw it this low this time of year? Because I don't recall, you don't recall a time it's been this low this time of year. And what's that going to mean for Sam Rayburn? What's it going to mean the next couple of months? And it'll be interesting to get Nick's thoughts on that as well.
Yeah. So we'll wrap that up. Also, some other local guys that did really well in Toyota, Wyatt Franklin, so we've had on. He came in second for the third time, Kev. Boy, he just kind of snake bit on winning over there. Yeah. I kind of feel sorry for the guy. Kind of like Aaron Martins, he's the runner-up guy, bridesmaid all the time. But hey, nothing wrong with finishing second.
I fixed to say he won $12,000, Steve. I don't feel too bad for him.
And then Randy Despino, Randy did very well. He was a top, I think he made top 20, 17, 18, something like that. He was
ninth. He finished ninth.
Oh, he finished ninth. That's right. And Walt Stevens was 10th, and our buddy from up there north of Ruston. And so congratulations to all the local guys that did really well over there. And and also today, of course, coming up this week at Rayburn, we got the Bassmaster Open coming in there. We're going to preview that today as well. And maybe get Nick's thoughts on how's the lake setting up for those guys this week.
Yeah, definitely, Steve. I mean, Bass Open, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I believe. Outlaw Outdoors is Sunday, the number 2, but it's really number 1. You got both BFLs going, or I say both. You have 2 BFLs going on Toledo Bend. Saturday, the makeup tournament from a couple weeks ago on Sunday. So big weekend as we was talking about.
Yeah, and I've talked to some guys also that have of course, we got 2 new ramps at Toledo Bend, and boy, I tell you what, that's something we kind of needed over there. We needed a couple of more big ramps where tournaments can go out of and that can hold a lot of boats. So I've heard nothing but good things about Sabine.
And on the Texas side, we needed something from the Texas side.
Right. Yeah, exactly. On the Texas side, and we needed them over there. So congratulations to the SRA for doing a good job with that, and Texas kind of stepping up on that, and because we needed those. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we got Nick LeBrun, MLF Pro, going to tell us how he won over there at Sam Rayburn. We'll be right back. You're watching Tackle Talk Live.
A good marine dealer is hard to find, but a great dealer is even harder. But in Iowa, Louisiana, there's a marine dealer that falls into the great category. Power Implements Marine, South Louisiana's go-to dealer for all things related to the boating industry. A Minn Kota, Garmin, and Mercury dealer, guaranteeing you first-rate service in both sales and repair. A great selection of new and used boats to choose from, including Skeeter, G3, Ranger, Camus, and Go Devil. A knowledgeable staff that will treat you like family and are always willing to go the extra mile to ensure you walk out a happy customer. To see everything they have to offer, go to powerimplements.com or stop by 606 East Miller Street in Iowa, Louisiana. Plus, mention Tackle Talk Live and save $500 off a new or pre-owned boat or $50 off your first service ticket. Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Nothing is worse than being sick on your family or fishing getaway. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in the hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your health care needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6 just south of Toledo Town, or call 318-508-5323. Very few stores are a complete one-stop shop, but Cypress Knee Outdoors is such a place. A store within a store. Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's Four-Way. Whether you need gas, food, drinks, or bait and tackle, they have it. Cypress Knee Outdoors carries top-name fishing brands like Strike King, Sandtone, Spro, and V&M. Crappie jigs from Bobby Garland. Need hunting gear? They have it. Ammunition from rifle to shotgun shells. Deer scents from Buck Wild and Doe and Heat. Deer stands from Titan and feeders from T-Hanger. Cypress Knee has it all. Located off I-49, exit 127, just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana. So stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors and let John Abram and his staff show you everything they have to offer. Or give them a call at 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
You're watching Tackle Talk Live. We appreciate you tuning us in today. This segment presented by the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Toledo Health Clinic, Cypress Knee Outdoors, Shimano, and Power Implements Marine, located right there in Iowa, Louisiana, as well as Lost Frontier Park. And Kevin, I went over there for the Valentine's dinner, dude, and I'm going to tell you right now, we got the chicken parmesan and with pasta, and it was really, really good. That guy, Miguel Ramirez is the chef there. He did an outstanding job. But hey, I'm just telling you, Lost Frontier, they got it going on. They had a lot of people in there, and so I was happy to see that for Chase Collins and his family that have now purchased that place again and taken it back over. So if you're looking for a great place, RV park, huge swimming pool, cabins, restaurant, lakeside beach with bungalows, 3-boat launch ramp, so much more. And they're constantly looking to improve things over there, make things better. So check it out, Lost Frontier Park on Toledo Bend. All right, on the Tackle Talk Hotline, we've got a man that's a little richer than he was a week ago. He's got a little money in his pocket now. So
let's be honest here, Steve. He gave his wife some money. Nick ain't seeing any of that money.
That's probably true. Nick probably don't have the money in his pocket. We know where it goes. But Nick, man, congratulations, bud. Of course, we're always excited when you do it. And
thanks, guys. You know, it's kind of funny, you know, the stump didn't have a lot of options for Valentine's presents. So
yeah.
I just brought that check home and laid it down at her, and she was good with that.
Yeah.
The stump doesn't agree with me for some reason. I tend to avoid the stump, but it's a great place to go, though. A lot of people love it.
Well, Nick, man, congratulations! Awesome win this past weekend. I mean, you were consistent with the biggest bag of the tournament on the final day when you needed it. Brought in 26 pounds on the final day. But before we get to the tournament, Nick, let's talk a little bit about practice. I was following you on social media like I always do, and through your practice, of course, you were there for the Rattle Trap Open last weekend. You saw how tough it was on those guys, and then the last day of practice, I believe you said some things started clicking. Kind of take us through what you saw and what you went through with practice.
Well, we finally had just a really bright, warm, sunny day with no wind on that final practice day, which was Wednesday. We had to be off the water at 2 p.m. And that day, I finally just kind of got in a zone where some big ones were pulling up. And when I say pulling up, I mean coming up to about, 12 foot of water, give or take. I don't really mean on the bank to spawn, but they were just kind of, peeling off of their wintertime, cold haunts. And, man, I just found probably a 3/4 mile section of the lake where I caught a big one and pulled it away from several others using active target too. And I just knew that, that could be an area where it could go down. But the only problem was I couldn't get bit fishing around there. And so I had to just kind of survive with some other fishing stuff, dragging and, winding a little bit. But ultimately, those scope fish really played, and that was kind of the icing on the cake.
Nick, we talked, look, me and you talked and on the other program that I'm affiliated with, and about how the lake was kind of setting up for not just for you, but for everybody with the low water level, and how much it's affecting, the guys that did find grass. There was everybody and their mama was fishing that little patch of grass or wherever they found any grass. Did you have an area? Was it kind of to yourself? Did you get lucky and be able to keep it to yourself?
Yeah, I did. I found some stuff fishing and scoping where I didn't have any company, and I had heard that there was some grass down the lake, but like you said, I knew it was so shallow. I knew that you wasn't going to win on it, even if you had it to yourself for 3 days.
Right.
Because I just knew that whoever won a tournament would have to probably get dirty one day. And I just didn't think you could do that in, dirt deep grass when it's been that cold and all that,
Yeah.
So I tried to stay kind of just a little bit out deeper, not necessarily deep, but just more offshore. And I didn't really have any company. There was one boat in a zone there around the bridge that was kind of doing some of the same stuff, but I don't think he ended up catching them too well.
Yeah.
Nick, so day one you had 1811. Day two you had 1602, and I don't want to go day by day here because you're practicing right now on Lake Hartwell for the BPT, so we're gonna try to get you in and out. I really do appreciate you coming on while you're practicing. But so those days you had 1811, 1602. It was, and you said you did damage on the scope fish. Was majority of those 10 fish come from your 3 hours of scope each day? Or how many, let me rephrase the question. How many in your bag each day came from non-scope?
Yeah, so on day one, I weighed in 2 fish just fishing, dragging a buckeye football jig. Day two, we had that fog delay, and man, we just didn't hardly have any time. And I went to my fishing stuff and caught one little spotted bass rat. And I didn't have anything, and I just went scoping and caught the whole entire bag on day two scoping in about an hour. And I had a 6-pounder that kind of saved my day right then. But and then so day three, it's about probably 10:30, 11 o'clock. I don't have a single fish. All my stuff has just kind of died out. And I decided to get out in that wind on the main lake and just start graphing, trying to find some fresh ones. And about the second spot I graphed over, there they were. And man, I idled way upwind from it and hit anchor lock on the Ghost and went to work. And probably had 19 pounds in about 10 minutes. But the key was I had 2 5-pounders before I ever even turned the scope on. and that set it up for a really good potential to have a big bag. And then when I went scoping, I caught a 6, another 5, and culled out with a heavier 3-pounder. So that's kind of how it went out on final day.
Those offshore fishing, the 2 5s, did you catch those cranking or jig or?
Caught them on a big plug cranking.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So what I figured, knowing you how you set up on fish like that, I figured it was cranking or a big jig or something in that aspect, especially catching them that quick. I figured something cranking.
Now, Nick, day 2, you kind of skimmed over that, but that day 2 was critical for a lot of guys because you didn't go out till what, 11 o'clock?
We didn't take off until 11:45.
Yeah, and to have that shorter time, and you didn't get extended fishing time, did you?
Yeah, they extended it 1 hour, but I mean that wasn't hardly anything to brag about. But
right,
it really shook me up because when I went to my fishing stuff and couldn't even get a keeper, I started feeling a little pressure, and luckily the scope deal ended up working out where I survived. But I mean, by the time I ran up the lake, it was already, 12:45.
Yeah.
And that day by went really quick. So it was kind of like a 2.5 day tournament.
Yeah.
Nick, your scoping setup to catch these fish, kind of take us through your setup that you use to catch these fish on scope.
Yeah, so I run Lowrance Active Target 2. I have one transducer in forward and one transducer on scout mode. And I'm running about 80-foot range in front of me and, 25 to 35 on the down, depending on where I'm at. But, the main thing is making sure your transducer is on a 0-degree mount and that your transducer is pointing exactly where your blue arrow is pointing. I mean, I can't stress that enough. There's a few little tricks you can do when you're rigging a boat to kind of help that. But a lot of times, if your transducer is not perfect, when you get in some waves and you get in those tough conditions, I mean, you're just behind the curve. So having that transducer is really important.
Nick, this weekend, you got the Bassmaster Open coming up over there at Rayburn. How's it going to set up for these guys? I mean, it sounds like they're coming to them. The fish are definitely coming in, starting to do that. Will the drains really come into play this weekend?
Yeah, I think so. Can those guys scope the whole time?
Yes, it's a scoping tournament this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to take a lot of weight to win and a lot of weight to get a check in that deal. From what I saw last week, I mean, I was thinking, dang, I wish I didn't have to go to South Carolina because it's about to go down out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, it's same way last week. You don't catch fish in 3 foot, catch fish in 30 foot. But I think that 10 to 12 foot range is going to be the deal with those big females kind of just coming up to check things out.
So Nick, you said you found, fish coming up to like 12 foot. What are we talking like main lake? Because I mean, look, it's a whole different lake right now with it being as low as as it is this time of year. It's a different lake than all of us know from previous years. That 12 foot you said you found fish coming up to, is that main lake like drains coming up? Are you in the pocket like in a drain in a pocket, fish moving up to the stumps? Kind of walk us through that set that you found.
Yeah, it was main lake, and it was kind of some very specific stuff that I really won't get into.
Yeah.
But it was main lake, and I never saw any big ones in traditional, spawning areas or further back in the creek or anything. My deal was around the main lake.
Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing I want to know. Is it, or were they already moving towards the drains into the, the pockets or so? I hear Toledo Bend. That's how it's going down. Is they're already moving on back in Toledo Bend. So that water, being the level it is on Rayburn, just has all of us kind of. It's a different lake, and that's going to be my last question for you. Have you seen Sam Rayburn this low this time of year, and what do you think this means going forward for the spring for Sam Rayburn?
Yeah, so I've seen it lower than this 2011. It was a tad bit lower back then, and the bad thing about it is when it's this low, you're delaying the grass at least a year down the road. Because okay, let's say y'all got a 10-foot rain and the lake come up. Well, it's going to take at least a year to even grow any grass, and that's if if the lake comes up too quick, you're going to kill what it's trying to grow.
Yeah.
Like that grass down the lake at Mid Lake, you put 5 foot of water on top of that right now, I don't think it'll survive.
Right.
So it's going to take a while for the grass to come back. But the good thing about Rayburn, grass or no grass, they ain't going to grow less and crawl on the bank.
Yeah. Yeah. Nick, I got one more question as well. Okay. The Bassmaster Open coming into this week. Y'all had 106 boats in your tournament. Now, this Bassmaster Open, they're going to have more than that, aren't they? They're going to have close to 200 probably.
Yeah.
So it's going to be even worse as far as crowding, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be crowded. Bassmaster put that tournament on top of Toyota when it was Bassmaster off limits, and that really hurt our entries.
Oh,
and
I didn't think about
there's
that.
a lot of guys that would have fished Toyota, but they couldn't because they were off limits for bass.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why that Bassmaster field is going to be a lot more, because they kind of made it where guys had to pick and choose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, understood. Nick, man, I really appreciate you coming on with us, especially, and again, you're in the middle of practice over there on Lake Hartwell. Good luck this week. I mean, you are known for winning back-to-back tournaments, so if you want to go ahead and win that one too this week, I'm sure your wife will be very proud.
Well, hey, I'm going to give it all I got. I can promise you that. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
All right, Nick. Thank you, bud. Appreciate it. Talk to you tomorrow.
See ya.
All right. And I told Nick we'll see him, talk to him tomorrow, because he's going to be on Hooking Up and Tracking Down. If you want to hear more about what Nick's got to say, you can tune Hooking Up and Tracking Down tomorrow from 11 till 1. Nick comes on at 12 o'clock noon tomorrow. But anyway, he gave some good details. I mean, of course, Kev, I think timing, and of course, he didn't want to get too specific, but I was surprised to hear Nick say that the forward-facing sonar saved him, especially on day 2. Because I'm telling you, I could see where you would be panicking going out 11:45, and you've got basically 4 hours to go fish and catch them. I mean,
no, it was day 2 was a live or die by scope. Now look, Steve, there was some freaking sacks caught on day 2 in those 4 hours. Well, Barrett Benefield caught 24:10. Chad Mrazek, he had 26:01. Chris Jones had 21:04. I think, I mean, so there were some bags caught, but those guys, it took a lot off their plate too. They have 4 hours, 3 hours can use scope. I'm assuming, I don't know how that breaks down on half a day, but they're going out knowing I'm going scoping. So they don't there's not a lot of planning on it. Now, what is very interesting to me is hearing day 3, he idled over a point and found a group and caught 2 5s cranking. That is very interesting to me, because that means that's a main lake point. Those fish are pulling out of the main lake river channels and things like that, and they're coming in. They're working their way to the pockets.
Right, they're setting up. Yeah, you're right.
And he is right. I mean, that with those fish on the move like they are, those guys, the open guys being able to scope like they can, they're going to catch them this weekend.
And starting, I think tonight, temperatures in the 50s at night all week, and in the 70s and 80s all week. It's fixing to be on this weekend.
Now, what's going to really be interesting this weekend is the Outlaw Outdoors tournament on Sunday that is no scope. How those guys end up catching them with the lake being down like it is.
Yeah, well, my first thought would be it's going to be tough on those guys with no scope, because these fish have been hammered in the last 2 weeks. It's going to be tough for those, I would think. Now, somebody's going to catch them. They always
Oh,
catch
yeah,
them,
no doubt.
but overall, I think the fishing could be tough on those guys.
Yeah.
So, but anyway. All right. Well, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to recognize a few of our sponsors. We got lake level reports, upcoming tournaments, tip of the week. We got a little hot topic we're going to talk about that's going on in the bass fishing world. Give our little 2 cents on that. You're watching Tackle Talk Live. We'll be right back.
The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local fishing guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guy for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. 2 locations to serve you in both Nacogdoches and Broadus, Texas. Or give him a call at 936-205-4467. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to the final segment today of Tackle Talk Live. This segment presented by Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Toledo Health Clinic, Cypress Outdoors, Shimano, and Lost Frontier Park, and also, Kevin, Power Implements Marine, located right there in Iowa, Louisiana. What happens if you say, hey, I watch Tackle Talk Live?
Steve, you're going to save $500 off the purchase of any new or used boat that you buy right there from Power Implements Marine, or you get $50 off your service ticket. So any service work you need done, that's where I've always taken all my boats. The guys are really good, get you in and out pretty quick as well. So save $50, all you got to do, or save $500 on the purchase. All you got to do is tell them the guys at Tackle Talk Live sent you.
Well, had a guy call me yesterday, a friend of mine. He was headed down there, and I told him, I said, hey, don't forget to tell him. He said, man, I'm glad you told me that. So he was going down there to Power Implements Marine with his boat and looking to either make a trade or do something different. So, but anyway, hopefully he got a good deal. All right. Okay, Kevin, hot topic, dual threat team series. This is a mess. I mean, the more I see and the more podcasts I watch Scott Martin, his little deal, and he didn't mince words. He said, this is a scam. He said, we've been scammed, and all the anglers got scammed on this deal. And it was a scam from the start. Your thoughts on this thing and what you've seen?
Steve, I'm still in shock. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I watched a little bit of Scott's. I listened to Luke Duncan yesterday. He did like a special low budget live on it. And I've listened to several more. And every time I listen, and guys, if you're not up to date with what we're talking about, you need to go listen to one of those interviews. Scott Martin did a great job in on his video. Luke Duncan does a good job on his video. It's just a downright scam. These guys use fake names. Yeah. They charged, was it $9,000, Steve?
$9,000 deposit. Yeah. For 3 tournaments.
For 3 tournaments. But it was a non-entry fee, but 9,000 times 100.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't find this guy.
That's almost $1 million worth of entry.
They can't find this guy.
Yeah.
That nobody knows where he's at. He used a fake name. But they will find him. They will find out. Hopefully he hasn't skipped the country already. But I never in my wildest dreams would have thought something like this would have happened.
Well, somebody posted on, they went on the internet and made a post and put a picture of him in East Tennessee, and somebody actually responded. And it turns out this woman said, yes, I know who that is. It's not Ethan Phillips, it's Timothy Lynn. Tim Lynn is his name. And he's using my son's name to pull off this scam. That was her son, was Ethan Phillips. That's her own son. And he was using Ethan's name to try to scam and I was like, but to me, the kicker was all the people involved with this were using fake names. So this was a big deal from the get-go. This was never intended to be a real deal. And they're talking over $1.5 million amount of money that people that have lost their money to this crew of people, whoever they are. But it goes back to that old saying, Kevin, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably
fishing, and we didn't need this right now either,
No.
Steve. Let's be honest.
No.
The fishing industry didn't need this right now.
No, but absolutely did not. I just hope they didn't get any sponsors. I hope they didn't scam any of them and pull some money away from them. That really gives it a black eye, but it's bad enough as it is. But but anyway.
Yeah, it's not good. But to think that they're going to get away, I mean, surely they're not going to get away with this. How do you get away with something like this? Number one, but number two, I mean, to pull that off, and not only pull it off, but to think you're going to get away. I mean, they went as far as using fake names. Like, they really thought they were going to get away with this, and surely they're not. I mean, God, I hope not. Anyway,
well, when they were being told to not run checks, that's red flag. You and I both know that's a major red flag. ABA got in trouble with that kind of mess. And we've seen what's happened with ABA and all that mess they've been through. No more pro league, no more solo 150s. All that's gone, the ABA. And but yeah, when they start telling you to hold checks or checks are being, only one check supposedly ran and it went through clean was Adrian Avena. He's the one that went through clean. And but so far, the rest of them, they're the winners. That's who you also feel sorry for.
Yeah.
$100,000 is what was promised. And they're coming away with nothing. So, but anyway.
Not good.
Pardon me, folks. I've got a lot of congestion going on. I got a cold. Just got 2 shots this morning, so we'll do better. We'll be ready for next week for sure. Upcoming tournaments, Kev, what we got?
So Bassmaster Open this weekend, 19th through the 21st. The 21st on the BFL on Toledo Bend. Also the 21st Bass Champs at Lake Fork. That's all Saturday.
Yeah.
Then the 22nd is the makeup BFL from the previous date. They got canceled. Is going out of San Miguel on Sunday as well. Outlaw Team Series on Sam Rayburn is February 22nd. Oh, the Outlaw Team Series number 2, but really number 1 because number 1 got postponed. So Outlaw Team Series, we're going to call this one number 1 this weekend. And I know Clint's really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be pretty windy this weekend, Steve. I haven't looked at Sunday, but I think Saturday. I think weather's going to be really nice, but I think the wind's supposed to blow.
Yeah, well, we're at that time of year. We know how it can be on Toledo Bend or Rayburn, but anyway, lake levels got a little relief, Kev, not much. I mean, but there was a good rain come through. Toledo Bend is now 167.9. It's down 4.1 feet. Had a 10-day gain of 3.12 inches, so it's come up a little over 3 inches. And a 24-hour gain, which is the storm that came through other night, 0.48. Sam Rayburn, it's still down 9.18 feet. It did pick up 2.88 inches and a 24-hour gain of 0.72, so almost an inch. Lake of the Pines is down 1.96 feet. They must be pulling water there. They had a 10-day loss of 2.88 inches and a 24-hour loss of 1.32.
Hopefully we're sending some of that down Toledo.
Yeah, maybe so. And Lake Fork is 2.85 feet low. It's they had a gain of 2.52 inches and 24-hour loss of 0.36. So, but anyway, that's your lake levels, kind of what's going on. Tip of the week. You know, guys, there's different reasons a lot of times where you can break off on a hook set. Could be a bad knot, could be bad line. But one thing you need to check are your line guides on the rod itself. Can also be a problem. Always check your line guides periodically for nicks, abrasions, especially if you're throwing braid a lot. Braid has a tendency to cut a groove in your line guide over time, creating a bad spot in the guide, especially if you're using older rods. To check this, run a Q-tip or a cotton swab through the eye of the line guide. If you leave part of the swab or the cotton on the eye, it needs to be replaced. And that means you got a nick on it. So that's this week's tip of the week. And hopefully that'll help you and maybe save you from breaking off a few fish. What you got, Kev? Anything else on Shimano product?
Yeah, I was hoping to have my sample in today, Steve, but I don't have it yet. Shimano released the new Vanquish for 2026. It's a reel that's been around for a long time overseas and everywhere else. You've never been able to get it here in the U.S. It's a step down from the Stella, which is the ultimate spinning reel, Steve.
Yeah.
With all this four faces sonar stuff going on, your spinning setup, rod and reel, you need a lightweight setup that you can have in your hand all day, really to make accurate casting. And so you can't have a heavy rod or a heavy reel. The new Vanquish is the lightest reel to date in Shimano's Magnum Light spinning setup, the MGL setup. It's performance, on water agility. It's demand, heightened sensitivity, and control. It is, like I said, the lightest spinning reel on the market. And it smooths incredibly. It is incredibly smooth. And it's for the MGL model. It's very durable, very strong. It's around that $500 range. It is a very expensive reel, but it is worth it. I've had one in my hands, and guys, if you are a scoper, this is a reel you need to check out. The new Vanquish from Shimano, and they are in stores, showing up in stores as we speak. So if it's something you're looking at, it's the lightest one on the Shimano line, probably the lightest reel on the market across all products.
Is that a titanium grade metal? Is that probably what that's made from?
It's
Or aluminum?
the MGL, yeah.
Yeah.
It's let's see, on the Vanquish. Let me make sure here, because like I said, this one's brand new. It's got the Duracross drag, fanny drive, and fanny loop.
And folks, I'm gonna say this while Kevin's looking that up. When you're looking to buy a fishing reel, I mean, you can go cheap, and there's some good low budget reels out there. And depending on how serious an angler you are, but if you're a serious angler and you're a good weekend warrior and you really fish a lot, or you're in tournaments, spend the little extra money, guys, and get the good reel, get the good rods. You'll be happier, you'll be more satisfied, and it'll help you more. It really will help you catch more fish.
And Steve, it's very specific for four-face sonar. Like, you need that lightweight reel, that lightweight rod. You need that setup. If you're going to have it in your hand like that on the front deck all day long, I would pair it with probably an X-Pride or a Loomis. It's the right reel. That paired, to me, in my opinion, I like the X-Pride. It's about a $300 rod for four-face and sonar. You got a reel that you can stand on that deck all day and make accurate casts with. So,
well, and I think you would agree with this. The setup on forward-facing sonar and scoping is probably more important than any other rig, whether you're jig fishing, flipping, whatever, spinner baiting. You can get away with some things on spinner bait or jig or whatever with different type rod combinations and reels. But when it comes to scoping, if you don't have the right setup, it can make all the difference in the world. I think that's where some guys get frustrated. They're not set up right.
No doubt. Yeah.
So, all right.
Real
quick, again, Lost Frontier. It's under new management, Chase Collins and family. If you're looking for a great place to get away, look no further than Lost Frontier Park on Toledo Bend. Amenities include RV park, huge swimming pool, which will come in handy for long, cabins, a great restaurant, lakeside beach with bungalows, along with 3-boat launch ramp, and so much more. They got cornhole, volleyball court. They got everything. So plan your next getaway, make reservations, give them a call at 409-404-9972. That's 409-404-9972. That's Lost Frontier Park, located just off Carice Creek on the Texas side of Toledo Bend. And again, tell them Tackle Talk Live sent you. And enjoy the restaurant. I'm telling you, I have yet to have a bad meal there. And the chef there, Miguel Ramirez, he does a great job. You'll enjoy your meal, if nothing else. So, all right, that's all I got, Kel.
I think that does it for us for the week. It's a busy weekend. We'll be watching results from everywhere. Excited to see what the open guys bring to the table with four-face sonar. The BFL on Toledo Bend.
Yeah.
They're going out of San Miguel, Steve. So it's depending on what the wind's like, if they can get down the lake or not.
Yeah.
That there could be some mega bags, just as there was last weekend. It's just according to how bad that wind gets.
Yeah, because it's a long run from San Miguel down to Housing and 6 Mile. Especially if it's windy, it's really a long run then.
And it's not so much as they got to get down to that area to catch them. That's definitely not like it is on Toledo Bend. But they have to spread out, and if they don't spread out, those bags definitely won't be as big. So
yeah, and if the wind's really bad, it can be a long run going north to Blue Lake. I mean,
yeah.
Toledo being wind is everything over there.
Oh yeah, and again, Steve, special thanks to Nick LeBrun. He did not have to come on the show today. He's in the middle of their practicing for their Bass Pro Tour event on Lake Hartwell. Guys, if you don't follow Nick on his socials, he's a great follow. You need to go follow him. He gives great breakdowns on his setups, tackle setups, so on and so forth. You need to make sure you're following him on his socials.
And another local that we follow a lot, we're good friends with, Justin Cooper. Make sure you follow Justin as well. I know the guy's had a lot of success, done very well in his two years on tour. This is his third year, I think.
Yeah. He's getting old, Steve. He's
old codger now. But anyway, all right. We appreciate you tuning us in. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, whatever you listen to as far as podcasts. If you'd like to become a member of our sponsorship team, just message us on Facebook. Kevin will send you a packet and giving you all the details. For Kevin Jean, yours truly, Steve Graff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week with more Tackle Talk Live.